Hi,
Hello.
I'm Brad,
And I'm Kelsey.
and we're BK Book Club. Whoop whoop.
Oh, because we already did one tonight. Whoop whoop.
If you watched our last video, you know that we're recording these two episodes back to back, so we don't have
Double
any
duty.
food to talk about.
Nope, I didn't make popcorn.
No, there was no popcorn, but we did have a delicious dinner that you can hear about in the last episode. Also, we're not doing wine. We are actually just on takeoff from the edibles that we took in the last episode.
Yeah.
So,
And I've been using a Penelope.
This episode is episode 14. And we're reading the entirety of A Court of Frost and Starlight, which was an interesting read, I have to say. It was like you had warned me that it was like a novella, and it's exactly what it was like.
Yeah.
It felt like an episode of Friends or something, there
wasn't a lot of conflict.
Yeah. It felt actually more like an episode of This Is Us, because it's showing multiple people's point of views, which... she loved it, by the way. She loved that.
No. It's not. No. It's not the different POVs. It's the switching between first and third person that annoyed me. But I did just kind of switch my thinking, and I'm just like, okay, because I did hear that the next one, Silver something.
Silver Flame or something like that.
Yes. Is all in third person. So I'm like, okay, this is just the whole series.
Has been first person up until this book.
Yes, and it switches because Feyre and Rhys are first person. So I'm like, okay, it's just them telling the story, and that's why it switches between first and third person.
Yeah, because whenever it goes to Cassian or Asriel or Morgan's perspective.
Literally anyone besides those two.
Third person.
Yeah, so it's just they're telling us the story.
Yeah.
So annoying to me, though.
So the first chapter is the aftermath of the war against Hybern. Valeris is getting ready for the winter solstice. We find out where everyone has gone off to live and hear about how busy Feyre is taking on her high lady duties. Sorry. You're welcome. Duty. Do you have any notes? I have one.
I have two.
Go ahead.
I have that. I love that Lucian is officially living in Night Court. Like he has his own place.
Yeah.
And then I just said, "Fucking tampon hit, Lucian." Ew.
What are the?
Oh my god. Okay, sorry. No, go ahead.
My note is: what are the what a contrast between how Feyre is taking on her duties in the Night Court to what she was doing when she was in the Spring Court before she was in prison.
She's allowed to do
things. It's just, it was interesting. I think it's because she's been offered the freedom the entire time.
Yeah.
So I think that's what made the biggest difference.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. It crossed my mind while I was reading it. I was like,
Well, and she's not giving duties like, pick this dress, set this table, plan this. Like, it's actually things that are making a difference.
Exactly.
Okay.
Can you hand me my water, please?
Yes. Have you seen the Netflix previews for Chad Michael Murray's new Christmas movie where he plays a stripper?
Nope, I did not know about that.
Yep. I saw on Netflix today. He has a whole January through December photo shoot on there too. Anyways, I'm like, I don't remember what I was seeing, but I'm like, oh wow, Chad Michael Murray could play Tamlin because it's like that.
Yeah.
But that specific, I was like, I'll have to show you.
Yeah, you'll have to show. It's like when I sent you the thing.
Yeah.
The Instagram guy that looks like Lucian.
Yep.
Yeah. In chapter 2, the Illyrian camps are still being misogynistic. Cass and Rhys laid down the groundwork to improve equality between the genders. We hear about rumors of inner turmoil from camps that lost the most soldiers. I feel like there may be an Illyrian uprising about to start. Also, what's Cassian and Nesta's deal? I'm like, what is happening?
What's going on?
Yeah.
I just have that I love that both Feyre and Rhys just wanted the whole family together for solstice. Like they both were like, yeah, you will be there. Thanks so much.
Actually, I just realized that I don't think we ever mentioned in the last episode or the last book the fact that Cassian and Nesta kissed.
Oh my God. Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
Anything about it. Because Nesta was shielding him from the king.
And he was like, my only regret is us not having.
And then they kissed.
How did we not talk about that?
We didn't talk about it at all.
Wow.
So
we are the fact that neither of us made a note of that either. That's crazy.
I did make a note about the fact that she was like protecting him. You know what it was? When it got to that part of the book, I was just reading like I didn't care about to think of something or to make note of something. Whereas today I actually was like using my phone and scrolling through and making notes as I was like reading the chapters. Yeah. So that sets the groundwork for why it's weird that there's nothing going on between the two of them. Because they kissed and had a very intimate moment, but as soon as the war ended, Nesta was
nothing. She was just annoying. What chapter are we on?
Chapter 3.
3? Okay.
I haven't read it yet.
Oh. Okay. No, wait. Oh, yeah. We're good. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any notes for chapter 2? Because I said I feel like
I love that they both want the whole family together.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I said no. Yeah. No, yeah.
Okay, so chapter 3. This chapter, we get more of Cassian's backstory and the blood ritual to become an Illyrian warrior. He takes us back to his village, the one that he decimated after he found out that they fucked up with his mom. So
yeah. So sad.
It's so sad.
Cried a little bit.
I feel like that's a lot of this book, though. We got a lot of other people's backstories finally.
Yeah.
I think the only person's perspective we didn't have in this book was Amren's. Amren and Elaine.
Yeah, Amren and Elaine. Yeah.
And Lucian too, I guess.
Yeah.
But
of the night court family.
Like night court family, it's weird. Amren wasn't in that, but okay.
Weird. Oh, I just said, it was just my comment about hating how this chapter was third person.
Yep. Chapter 4, Feyre takes to the rainbow to do her solstice shopping. While out, she comes across the ruins from the attack from Highburn. In her musing, she meets the shopkeep she helped protect the rainbow with. Rhysand, I don't know how to say her name. Rhysand offers to have Feyre join her weekly painting parties at her studio. Feyre meets up with Moore to come up with more gifts and learns of the secret meeting between Kerr and Eris that is to take place. A visit that the team plan on crashing.
Whoop whoop. I was just throwing it out there if maybe Rhysand was going to be one of Moore's new love interests.
Oh, I thought about that too. I just didn't make a note of it though.
Yeah.
But that's something I considered too. Is that the only note you had? I said when Feyre meets with Rhysand, I couldn't help but think of the Rainbow Remembers as like a riff off of the North Remembers from Game of Thrones. They say it a lot. And I'm always just like, the North remembers.
The North remembers.
The North. In chapter 5, Feyre mothers Rhys, and we learn that instead of monthly cycles, female Fays have a bi-yearly cycle that is much more severe. We also learn that Feyre's 21st birthday falls on the same day as solstice.
Perfect.
I'm going to go with my note first.
Okay, go ahead.
I said, I'm so glad I don't get a period. And I said, I think it's sweet that Feyre won't allow her sisters to go through it alone. I wonder if Amren will or has had one too.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I can't imagine.
I can't imagine like a normal period for humans as it is.
It's not great. Let me tell ya. I'm actually about to start mine within like the next few days.
Woof. It's a good thing we finished reading that other book then, because we would have sobbing.
Oh my gosh, literally. I'm probably I've cried a lot because I'm rewatching Gilmore Girls, so I'm just like crying all the time. But yeah, I do feel a little bad for Lucian. Elaine just like ignoring him all the time. Like literally all the time.
The team goes to the Huon city to crash the surprise meeting between Eris and Kerr. This is chapter 6. We hear more about Moore's backstory, what happened to her on the day her family dumped her in the Autumn Court, and what Eris did when he found her, left her to die. And this is where I made the note that I was talking about earlier, which is Sarah J. Maas does a great job at getting us to both love and loathe males.
Yeah,
She does
absolutely.
a really good job at making us hate characters.
They're very many dimensional.
Yeah, multidimensional. You're so welcome.
I was like, why doesn't this
doesn't sound right.
This isn't sounding right.
This is not the word I'm looking for. These are not the words you're looking for.
One note, just another possible love interest for Moore is Vivianne's sister, since she was reading up on like winter court customs. And remember, they were in the war together, and she's like, she almost like smiled and blah blah blah.
Yeah. No, I don't know that we will get Moore's love story.
I think we will, because I saw something, because she's not done with the series yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I guess
And I think Azriel's is next, because she did say something about him being a freak.
Oh, yes. I remember this.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Like Sarah J. Maas like something.
Yeah, she's like, don't worry, Azriel's a freak.
Yeah. She's like, the things in my mind. What was this?
I'm about to read chapter 7. Unless you have anything else for chapter 6.
Nope, that was it.
Okay. The discourse at the Illyrian camps is worse than we thought. It seems to be coming from females who lost brothers, husbands, fathers in the last war. Believing that Rhys put them in direct danger purposefully because of old vendettas, we hear about Lucien going to the Spring Court and how he returned once only to ask for a place to stay and had a black eye. Az also tells Rhys that the human queens have yet to return to their individual courts, and that Vasa is still with Joran, who is acting as leader on the island, and since the portion of the human land has never had a ruler. This is where we also confirm that Tamlin hasn't done anything to protect his borders from ass clowns like Byron, who looks to expand his court into the human territory. Bryaxis is still AWOL and hasn't resurfaced since the war.
Yep.
My only note on this was it feels like Rhys is insinuating something is going on between Az and Elaine. He seems to be really interested in Az's thoughts about where Lucien is and his proximity to Elaine.
So I said my guess is the Illyrian conflict will be solved next book, considering that's Cassian's book.
Yeah, probably.
And then I said, see, another weird Azriel moment regarding Elaine.
It happens a lot in this book.
Yes, a lot.
There's like an entire chapter where I'm just like, and I've realized when reading some of this stuff, when you are reading someone else's written sarcasm or innuendos, I don't actually pick up on it that well.
Sometimes I have to like read it and then I'm like, wait, and I read it again because I get it after the fact.
I feel like I should change the voice, my reading voice in my head to be sarcastic so I can hear it in sarcastic.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you hear a voice in your head.
I do.
Okay, yeah. When I read words, I hear them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
in my head. So... And I was really focused on it earlier for no reason when I was reading the last couple of chapters of the book, and I'm like, I kind of don't like the voice that reads to me.
Oh no!
I'm like, is there like an upgrade I can do? Something? Can I ask Siri to change her voice?
It's like just your mind, baby.
Right? I'm like, well, boo-hoo for me. What other notes do you have for 7?
I think that was
just the thing about the weirdness between them
and thinking that the Illyrian conflict was going to be, because there wasn't, book. Like we said, a lot of conflict in this.
Yeah, there
book.
Wasn't like not
the
a lot.
Main...
Yeah, not a lot really got done in terms of like.
It was just
everything.
A Christmas special.
It was just a Christmas special.
Thanks,
it was
Mackenzie.
The family stone. Chapter 8, Cassian is making his way through the Illyrian camps, preparing all he can for the coming storm. He meets a female shopkeep named Emery, who he funds and tasks with giving all her warm gear to the underprivileged in the area. I said, we're meeting a few new characters recently. I wonder if they will matter later in the stories. Like stories or stories.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. I mean,
like, because I think a lot of next book is going to be at the Illyrian camp.
Well, I was just thinking, like, when I was reading this, the reason I said story is because I wondered if they would come back in this book, which the Racine or whatever her name is.
Mhm.
She's the only one that comes back.
Racina.
We don't hear about Emery again.
No.
But
I think we will next book.
probably, yeah. I mean, if it's going to be taking place with the Illyrian camps, I imagine we will be.
I mean, I just assume that because it's Cassian.
Yeah.
I just said, first off, I love that Cassian did that. Like, that's so sweet. And he's like, don't say it's from me.
Yeah,
That's
because
not
then
gonna go
people
well,
won't
blah,
people
blah,
won't
blah.
take it.
And then I think I love how he named her Poses.
Yes. Yep. So good.
I'm like, you're in love.
Fucking loser. Chapter 9, Feyre decides to paint. The thought of doing it with... Oh, we hear about her thinking about wanting to do it with people around... Wait, what?
Oh. We though the thought.
No, yeah, that's why I'm like, that does not make any sense.
And though the thought of doing it with people around scares her.
So she decides to go to the abandoned studio she was talking to Racina in front of.
Yeah.
So, sorry. That I was like, I'm not picking up
she
on
goes
that.
into the abandoned studio.
She goes into the abandoned studio.
And so my note, I just said, I wouldn't want to paint for the first time in front of people either.
Yep.
And then, so do we think Rhys is going to buy and fix up the studio for like her solstice / birthday present?
Almost.
Yeah.
Chapter 10, the process helps her be cathartic and start to heal old wounds as she paints the version of herself that the Ouroboros showed her. Said I kind of had a feeling she would end up painting this as her first painting. At the end of the chapter, she says she'll come back for it and claim it, but I wonder if she'll leave it. I also wonder if she's going to use this space as her own studio going forward. She seems to enjoy painting mostly when she's alone. What do you have?
I didn't have a note for 10 apparently.
Okay.
But I do love that.
Chapter 11,
it all out.
Rhysand visits the spring court that we find in ruins. Tamlin is completely shut down mode, not even trying to save face or protect himself from outside threats. With no sentries or guards, he cannot protect his borders, and when Rhys offers to lend aid, he refuses. The reunion ends with Rhysand telling Tamlin he deserves everything that happened to him because of his cowardice. My only note was that I feel bad for the citizens of the spring court. I wonder how many are left and still live in the court, if many of them have left. I
did say, okay, maybe I feel like the teentiest, tiniest bit bad for Tamlin, because like
I felt bad for him by the end of this book.
Like, yeah, and Heartbreak does suck.
Yeah.
And then I said I feel like Tamlin might not have his full powers or like any at all at that point, and just because like. When he was trying to like push him for a fight, but then Rhys said like,
well,
he might have wanted to die, but
I feel like a lot of the time too, their powers are linked to their emotions too, and if he's feeling hollow, I'm sure he's just like letting his powers hollow out as well.
All right.
In chapter 12, the gang shows up to start the solstice celebrations at the townhouse. Elaine is both hurt and furious at Nesta for refusing to be a part of their lives. As gets weird with Elaine again.
Yes.
Amren strikes a chord with Cassian about Nesta. Amren's not accustomed to bodily functions, which I thought this was the most bizarre chapter, but it made...
I thought it was so funny.
I'm like, but it makes sense, though, because when stuff like that happens, no one ever talks about it.
Yeah, and like... Think about never having to go to the bathroom.
Ever.
And then all of a
suddenly
sudden,
you're like, what is coming out of me?
Go to the bathroom.
Yeah. And then it was...
And you've lived for that long?
It's interesting, too, because I didn't even think about it, but it's the same thing with the period thing. Like, it's an interesting concept, though, like, being able to process that.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting.
So if any of the weird people out there have questions about how Amren poops.
Yeah.
So... Chapter 13.
Well, hold on, because your last sentence was Feyre goes searching for Nesta.
Oh, no, I haven't read 12 yet. That's what's going on. No, I did.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
So you...
Yeah.
And then I have 2 notes. I said, I love that everyone has their own relationship. It's not, I'm friends with you because you're friends with, like, my mate. Like, they all have their own relationships.
They all get along well enough that they just have relationships amongst themselves.
And then I said, Elaine totally likes Azriel. Her blushing when he came in, so cute. Feyre did. Oh, and then I said, this was where last episode I mentioned. Like, Feyre did love Tamlin, so Elaine might just fall in love with somebody who's not her mate. Because, like, Lucien came on real strong.
Yeah, that's true.
At a very traumatic
moment.
So it's like, that would be hard. And Azrael's just kind of given her space. And yeah.
In chapter 13, Feyre finds Nesta at a seedy tavern. I almost said hotel. The conversation,
Basically.
cold and distant more than ever. Feyre strikes a nerve when trying to express that their father would want them to stick together. Nesta tells Feyre her rent is due. Feyre tells her to show up or she can pay it herself.
Go, Feyre.
My note is, what the actual fuck is wrong with Nesta? Like, after everything, is she acting this way because she thought that they were all going to die? And that's why she was willing to be more vulnerable with them? And since they survived, now she just wants to die?
Ooh, I didn't think about that. I just said Nesta's going down like the typical rebellion phase. Going out, drinking, sleeping around.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with those things, but it's very typical.
It's a part of the spiral.
Yeah. That's all I had for that.
Excuse me 1 second. Sorry. In chapter 14, Rhysand and Mor discuss using Mor as an emissary. I know it's my fault.
I tried not to. I was like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
Rhysand and Mor discuss using Mor as an emissary for the other courts so that they can learn more about what's happening across the continent. They also discuss the logistics of Kyr's visit. I had a thought when I read that. And I said, what if Kyr decides he wanted to move from the human city to the Valerius and use the dark there, it's like Darkbingers
whatever
to do it. So, like, what if he wants to invade Valerius and take over Valerius and he uses the Darkbingers to do it? Can't even say it.
I mean, I didn't even think of that, but I think he knows. I feel like Rhys can them so fast that like he knows that.
Yeah. Maybe. It was a thought that I had.
Who knows? I just said I feel so terrible for Mor having to deal with Kyr coming to her home.
To Valerius, yeah.
Yeah. And like I respect her for being like, no, I'm gonna be here. I'm not going to like
let it go.
Hide.
Yeah. In chapter 15, Elaine gets out of the house while she and Feyre complete their shopping. They discover a tapestry that is made from the void and hope. After Feyre buys it, she goes back to the abandoned studio and paints the team their gifts. Rhysina talks to her about buying the studio and using it for herself. Rhysand talks to her about how painting has helped her, and she wonders if that's something that she can do for others in the city. Yeah. Do you have anything?
I just have Elena's so cute wanting to get gifts for people because of tradition, and then my heart for this poor weaver.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
It's also the fact that you just said it, Elaine doing it because it's a tradition.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating is it's not her tradition. She's never experienced it before.
But she's like, I'm supposed to do this, so I will.
Yeah, it's very telling about her character.
Yeah.
In chapter 16, Rhys and Az continue to keep the gravity of the descent in the Illyrian courts from Cassian. Rhys tries to convince both Cass and Az to stay more permanently in the city, and the solstice festivities continue with the arrival of Varian. I
didn't have anything for this one.
Yeah, some of these chapters are a lot shorter than that. Others are just fillers.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, there wasn't a lot.
Yeah, chapter 17, Feyre's birthday starts with presents from Rhys in bed and Lucien returns.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool.
Chapter 18, Lucien tells Feyre about the band of exiles in the human world formed by Jurian, Vasa, and himself. He also warns that they may need Tamlin in order to build the world they want. After the interaction, she tries to talk about Lucien to Elaine, who isn't having it.
Yeah.
And Mor brings Feyre to the cabin where the boys are having a snowball fight.
Boys.
I
just had maybe Lucien will fall for Vasa. And because he's.
But Vasa's a human too, isn't she?
Yeah, but he's like the official human emissary, and he says that because she's like, I want you to be more permanent. And he's like, I thought that's what I was doing already. Like I'm sending updates bi-weekly or twice a week or whatever the fuck it was. Like he's like, I don't know what else you want from me. I'm doing this. And he's like, especially probably because Elaine's not giving him the time of day.
Yeah, she's
like,
not
I
even
get
like
it.
she's not even remotely interested.
And she's not even really polite.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really exist.
Oh, does someone want tea?
Yeah, like she's like, peace.
Okay, bye. In chapter 19, the boys finish their time in the snow only to enjoy a nice steam to warm back up. Everyone returns to the townhouse to start opening presents, and Nesta arrives. My note was what I would give to be invited to that steam room. There has to be something going on between Elaine and Az.
See?
I can't figure out why they haven't talked about it or addressed it yet. Also, Nesta is being dumb.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, because they like hint at it every now and then.
They keep, and it's
just like everyone else is kind of hinting at the Cassian and Nesta, or not so hinting.
Not anymore. Yeah. Aaron is so blunt, and
Aaron's
I love
like, fuck all of you.
Yeah.
I stayed and I have to poop and pee because of you guys.
And food is weird.
Food is weird.
I'd rather have blood.
And I threw up and all of these things for you guys so I can still be here.
I love that she still has some powers, though.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Okay, in chapter 20, even with Nesta's sour presence, the solstice celebration continues. Everyone shares their gifts that they got everyone, and Nesta stays through the night. When she leaves without talking to Cassian, he chases after her.
I just said C, and Elaine giving Az the headache powder. Yeah. Love it, but like there's something.
Yeah, and she noticed too. She's like, you always are rubbing your temples.
I think she only was it just her sister? Now I can't remember. Was it just her sisters and Az that she got gifts for?
Yeah. That's it.
And it's so cute. I love it.
In chapter 21, Cassian tries to get through to Nesta, tries to understand why she feels the way she does and why she's acting the way she is. Nesta finds solace in silence. Even the sound of a fire reminds her of the cracking of her father's neck. I posed a question, which is, do we think it's just PTSD, or do we think that she's just irrevocably changed? It's hard to say.
It's hard to say. And it's also like, you need to ask for help. You need to be with your people and you'll have to want better.
The biggest thing is you have to want it.
But it's just like, yeah. Come on.
And it makes me wonder, did she see her mother die? Because I'm wondering if that's like a big part of it is that it'll be the second parent she watched die.
I think the mom was maybe sick, wasn't she?
I couldn't remember. Probably. That's why I can't.
I can't remember either.
I don't think we even have the father's name, to be fair.
Yeah.
In do you have any notes for 21?
I was like, Nesta's still so annoying. And poor Cassian.
Poor Cassian. Chapter 22, we finally see what Feyre wants to give to Rhysand. She wants to have his baby. Mm-hmm. Now instead of later as she's originally planned. They have mind-blowing sex. Then Rhysand gifts Feyre with an estate. An entire fucking estate. And he's just like, money is not an object.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want to build.
And it will be
it'll be done.
That'd be so amazing. I would love that. And it like fits because she's like, I want to have a kid,
like, but I also want to keep everyone living with us.
Exactly. She's like, I need everyone to actually be right. But you know what? I feel that because I really want to live on a compound with all of my friends.
Yeah, 100%. I want us to have like, oh my God, what are they like? Not tiny homes, but the container homes.
Yeah.
Like I think
we could have a mix.
Hold on. I want those to be like in a semicircle and we just like share one common room, like one giant living room.
So I have a different theory.
You're like, so that's great, but
I think everyone can have, and you could have a container home. Mm-hmm. I'll have like everyone can have their own type of like tiny smaller house or home.
Yeah.
And then we have one big one that has like a kitchen and
so it's like the main
living
house.
Room, and it's just like where we all go and hang out, but everyone also has their own, like I'll have a little living room, a little kitchen, and a little bedroom. But that will be like almost like a community center at an apartment complex.
Or like an assisted living place.
Yeah. And maybe it'll have a pool by it as well.
Yeah.
So like we have one big hangout space that we get together at least once a week.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah.
I actually feel like we have talked about that before, though.
We have. I talk about this actually with a lot of people.
Unprompted, too. She's just like, so you want to live in my compound?
Anytime one of my like friends go through, and sorry, friends, like a breakup, I'm like, it's okay. You can just come live in my compound.
Come move to my compound.
I'm like, just come on over. It'll be fine. We'll have animals. And
oh my God.
weekly dinners or brunches. Like we can switch.
Just a meal together.
Yeah.
And some quality time.
You know, it might sometimes be bi-weekly.
Yep.
Because weekly might be a lot.
Everyone has lives.
Yeah.
In chapter 20.
I say that knowing full well we actually do meet weekly and it's not a lot.
It's not a lot at all. Chapter 22, we finally see what Feyre wants to... Oh, I already read that. Sorry. Whoops. Chapter 23, Rhysand returns to the Spring Court to find Tamlin a hollow husk of the once great High Lord. He has Summer Court forces coming to help protect the Spring Court's borders, and Tamlin shows remorse. Do you have any notes for that?
No, I mean, it's like one of those things that's like, yeah, I feel bad, but it's also like...
Yeah, this is when
people go through breakups.
This is when I started to feel bad for Tamlin.
I mean, I guess I say that, but she also fucked him with his court, too. So, like, that was... maybe just, like, a little excessive.
Just a little bit.
Just, like, maybe a little too far. But also, I understand it.
Crazy match is crazy. It's fine.
I also, like, get why it happened and totally, you know...
support it.
What song am I thinking from Chicago? He only had himself to blame. Fucking Tango.
Yeah.
Cell Block
Tango, yeah.
I love that.
Now you're going to make me want to go home and watch it.
I literally was like, do I have that movie somewhere?
I can sign in on Fandango and you can watch it off of my Fandango.
You angel. I love that. Because I do love that movie. Oh my God. And
I know. We're going to see Wicked next week. So we're super, super excited. Anyway.
So excited. Okay, sorry.
Sorry about that. We totally just sidetracked everything. Did you have any notes after like chapter 20?
No, I think I forgot to.
Because I saw that your notes stopped, and I was like,
I forgot.
Okay,
at
that's
that
fine.
point.
Chapter 24, Mor goes to her own secret estate, contemplating her journey she's about to embark on. I asked, what do we think the darkness was? Do we think it was Bryaxis? That's what I thought it was, because I don't think Mor would have known what it looked like, perhaps. But I mean, she was there at the battle too, so she probably did.
And Rhys had said it's like fear itself.
Yeah, it's fear itself. But I thought it was interesting. She's like, there's a shadow looking at me. And I'm like, when it forms as a shadow. So that's why I was like, I wonder if it was Bryaxis. Chapter 25, Feyre requires the abandoned studio and convinces Rhysina to become her business partner.
Love it.
In chapter 26, Rhysand returns to the Illyrian camps to observe the progress being made with the training females. Cassian is now aware of the scope of the unrest among the other camps. And it's coming from one guy in particular. And he's like a guy that hasn't even done the blend right yet. Chapter 27, Feyre and Rhysina conduct their first class to help the children to cope with the horrors of the war with Hybern, which parents, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
so sad.
It's so sad, but like, way to like
turn grief into something productive,
something healthy too.
And then in the final chapter, Rhysand and Feyre discuss how the first class went and contemplate about their future. So they should be building the house by the time we're in the next book.
Yeah.
Unless it's already built, because it has been months. Because there's like a month gap between 26 and 27. Feyre literally said, like, it starts off with like after 2 months or something like that.
Yeah.
No, it was me.
Oh.
I'm getting hit up on Facebook Messenger.
Okay. I have a reminder to put my trash out, so...
It's 9 o'clock.
And I had already done it.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm like, wait, when were you supposed to do it? Because it's 9 o'clock.
I just forgot to say, okay.
this is kind of a shorter episode. We could just chat for a little bit. It's a short episode because it was a short book.
Yeah.
I feel like it did not need to be 26 chapters or 28 chapters.
Yeah, because a lot of them were like
2 pages.
If that.
If that. I'm like,
it started on this page and ended halfway through, then flip over.
But I guess it makes sense because of the way that she wrote it.
Yeah.
She's writing it from everyone's perspective, so sometimes their perspective can be very short.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So what do we think is going to happen in the next book? You said it's a Cassian. You've been told or you're aware that it's a Cassian specific book.
A Cassian and
Nesta
specific book. I don't know if there's other no, I think it's just their POVs and it's third person.
I imagine that the Illyrian unrest stuff is going to get addressed.
Yep.
I wonder if we will get a taste of when Feyre decides to try and break the curse that's on Vasa. What else do I think might happen in this next book? Something to do with Tamlin, I'm sure.
Yeah, because they gotta do something.
Thinking about what might happen in the next book.
I feel like it's, like I said, a lot is going to be taking place at the Illyrian
war camps.
And I think...
Well, at this point, it's the training camps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think that Emery...
Yeah, Emery.
We'll learn more about her or get more in... I don't know.
We'll see her again.
Yeah, we'll see her again. Tamlin, they've got to do something.
Something's... Because Byron or Baron is trying to infiltrate to the human world.
Yeah.
So
they got to do something with him. I also feel like they need to tell fucking Lucian.
I don't know if that's their job. I feel like
somebody has to tell him.
I feel like what probably will happen is that Baron will get killed in some capacity. Eris will step in, and either Eris is going to tell him or their mother is going to tell him. So that's what I imagine is going to happen. Something along those lines. And that's the way that Lucian finds out.
I just don't know.
But I even wonder if Hellion knows that Lucian's his kid.
I don't think so.
I don't either. I don't think so.
But I think that, I don't know if Feyre will be able to not tell him. Because, like, I would, if I knew that about my friend.
Yeah. Again, I think that the catalyst for it is going to be his father dies. And that's how it's going to, like, somehow come out.
Maybe. Or Hellion dies and he's the next.
Yep, he inherits the throne.
Yeah, he's fucking Daycourt?
I think
Dawncourt? Daycourt? Dawncourt.
Dawncourt. Stop, like, you're like, Daycourt, Day Dawn.
That's what my brain is like. That's what the inside
I was
of my
like, you kept that, and
like.
I was like, I don't know anymore. Sure.
That's literally what goes on in
one of the sun-oriented courts.
I think it's dawn.
There's no dusk court, so why would there be a dawn court?
There's dawn, day, I promise you, there's dawn, day, and night.
No, I believe you. Now I want to look at them again. Dawn, day, night, yeah. Winter, spring, autumn.
Because day, I think day, the Lord, it starts with like an S, doesn't it?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, and because
I don't remember.
It's fine. There's a lot of
Callus or whatever is winter court.
Yeah.
We know spring, we know autumn, we know summer. And then I think he's dawn, and I think there's like an S name. I don't remember.
It's fine.
Yeah, I'm excited though to see this enemies to lovers. And I just am really hoping that Nesta annoys me less.
Probably not. I bet you the first half of that book is going to be really, really frustrating to read.
Yeah, and it's a thick
It is
book.
a thick, I know.
She's thick.
I didn't even think to bring it with me to say how many, what chapters we're watching, what chapters we're watching. I'm afraid to like Google it because it might be wrong type of thing, but let's see how many
Ooh, I can read a little bit tonight too. That's a preview.
Do we know what's the name of it?
A Court of Silver Flames, I think. See, read on for a sneak peek of the next book. Oh, but I don't know if that's going to be like the... Does it tell me what chapter? See, like, what if it's in the middle of the book and not the beginning of the book? How do I know?
Then I wouldn't.
I'm not going to, but I think I can go on
Court
one
of Silver
of my
Flames.
apps. I think one of my apps, if I download
A Court of Silver Flames has 80 chapters.
How many pages?
Oh, it's divided into 4 parts: Novice, Blade, Valkyrie, and Atraxia. So 80 times 4 is how many chapters are actually in it.
80 times 4?
Mm-hmm. 320 chapters. I mean, yeah, 320 chapters. That's how much is in that book.
I feel like that's not right.
Well, I don't think 80 is right with the thickness of that book.
Unless there's just a lot of pages in each one. How many chapters were in this was in that one?
I don't know. Check. I think there's 69.
No, we're at 80. Okay, so yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's 80 chapters.
This is 81, I think it said. Let me go back. 81. And 699 pages. I think Mackenzie said there was like 1,000 pages or something like that. How many pages?
625 pages?
No. 768 pages.
So 80 chapters. If we're dividing it by 4, we have to do 20 chapters each.
Since this one we did in 1 week, I feel like we could maybe do the next book in like 6 weeks.
Why?
I just feel like there's a lot of
6
reading.
episodes?
Or maybe 5. I don't know. I feel like that's I feel like
use your words.
Every time it's more and more pages.
I don't know how many pages that equates to, but I thought we did 20 chapters with that one.
Yeah, and it was a lot.
Oh my god. How many chapters do you want to do then? 12?
I see. You keep saying chapters, but I feel like we should go by pages.
No, because a page could stop in the middle of a chapter.
But like we go like for this one we did about 175 pages and just whatever was the next chapter.
What do you want? You tell me what you want to do.
I want to see the book. Because I don't trust the internet.
That's my problem too, and I have it at Cullen's. I just didn't bring it with me here.
768 divided by that's 5. Okay, 153 pages if we do like 5 weeks. If it is 768 or 154 pages, so then it'd be whatever it is after that. The chapter ends.
So we're gonna read up to page 154 or the chapter, whichever comes.
Yeah, so whatever comes, I guess.
In a 2-page range, we'll go like that.
No.
Before or after?
No, it'll always be after. Read to 154 and then finish the chapter.
Okay, that's fine. Sure. I'm okay with that.
Okay, but do you understand it?
Yes,
yeah,
I understand.
Okay.
We're going to read up to 154 pages of the next book, which is a Court of
Silver Flames.
Silver Flames. So, yeah, I think that's good.
Yay.
I'm Brad.
I'm Kelsey.
We're BK Book Club.
Whoop whoop.
Signing off.